In this video, I'm going to continue this whole process of this inheritance hierarchy of different types of vacations that I might take or that I'm thinking about taking. And in this video, I'm going to focus on building the superclass vacation. And then we'll start to talk about this flight subclass here. That's about all that I plan to cover in this video. I'll make some more videos about the rest here in the future. So, the goal is to first build our vacation superclass, and it's no different than building just an object class because my vacation is going to be an object. So I need some of my instance variables at the top, and I'm going to have a cost because in my mind every vacation has a cost associated with it. I'm going to also have another integer variable called number of days, because every vacation tends to have a number of days associated with it. I'm also going to have a string variable called destination, and every vacation usually has a destination. And then I'm going to have a public Boolean variable called out of town, and I'm just going to keep track of whether or not I'm out of town yet or not. Okay, and then I'm going to need my constructor method, something that's going to build me a vacation. And inside that constructor method, I'm just going to make this simple. I'm going to assign the cost 0 at this point when I build the vacation, because there is no cost associated because it has not been planned. And my number of days will also be set equal to 0 because, again, the vacation isn't planned yet. I'm just creating it. Destination, I'm going to actually to make it TBD, to be determined. And my out of town variable, I'm not out of town yet, so I'm going to set that equal to false. Now, as you can see, the number of days, I forgot my S, so we're all good there. And that's all I'm really going to do with my constructor variable for now. My vacation, it's going to build me a vacation in memory, but it hasn't been determined yet, so I'm just going to kind of put some default variables or default answers in there. And then I'm going to create some methods for this for every vacation. So I'm going to create a method called set cost. Okay, and so I'm going to ask for a parameter from the user. I'm going to ask them for an integer, and we won't deal with dollars and cents. We'll just stick with total dollars, rough estimate, I guess. And I'll set the cost equal to whatever parameter they pass me. So that's a really straightforward method. All of these methods I'm going to make are going to be short and to the point. And then I'm going to have another one that's called set days. And again, I'm going to ask for an integer to come in, and I'm going to set number of days equal to whatever parameter they send me. And another method called set destination. As you can see, what I'm really doing is I'm just simply trying to one, create a blank vacation in a sense, and then have different methods here that will just fill in my vacation and assign my vacation all the specifics that I'm planning when I plan it. So I need a string to be passed into this one to set my destination. And of course, then I will set destination equal to whatever they send me. Okay, I'm just going to make two more here. I'm going to do a public void. I'm going to put go on vacation. It's like I just left. Okay, and if I just left, then I need to change out of town to true because then I'm out of town. And my last one, I'll arrive at home. I'll call this arrive home. And this method then, of course, will have to change out of town to false because I'm back home again. So this is just my basic class. This is my super class, my big vacation. Remember, in our diagram, our hierarchy, we have vacation, my super class here built. And the next thing I need to do is now start to create my subclasses. Okay, now I'm only going to look at flight here. Now, for my flight, I know it's a subclass, and so when I build this flight, what it wants to do is it wants all the code that vacation has. It's going to take all this code and dump it into flight because, a flight really does need to keep track of the cost and number of days of the vacation and destination because a flight is a vacation. And so when I go back and try to create my flight class, a flight is going to be an object. I'm going to create a flight object, a little flight vacation object. Okay, so what I want to do is I want all the code from that vacation class I just built. So I just need to add the words extends vacation. And so what it just has done now is it now has access to all of my vacation code. All of this stuff is now going to be thrown into every flight object that I build, which is great as long as I tell it to. I just have to remember to tell it to do that. So in my flight, let's start talking about instance variables. Okay, if I'm going to do a flight vacation, I'm going to keep track of what airline I'm taking. That's a string. I'm going to keep track of my seat assignment. And seat assignments on a plane a lot of times are things like 1A, 1B, 2D. Okay, so I'm going to make this a string variable, seeing as though it's a number and a letter combination. And then, let's see, I would keep track of my flight number, so I'll make that an integer. I need my flight number, and that's all I'm going to include here for this subclass. And I do need my constructor method, so I'm going to create my constructor method. It's going to build me a flight object, flight vacation object, if you will. And this time, what I'm going to do on this one is I'm trying to set this up where the user's going to tell me. I want parameters. So we'll just make these short. I'm going to go 2 string parameters for airline and seat assignment. And I'm going to do an integer for number, for flight number. And I just need to take my instance variable, airline, and set it equal to the string A that's passed to me. I need to take my instance variable seat assignment and set that equal to the S string variable that's passed to me. I'll take flight number and I'll set that equal to the integer n value that's passed to me, my parameter. And now everything is all built in memory for me. Now it's one last thing I need to do. This says it extends vacation. Extending vacation is great. It means, hey, I can use all vacation's code, but what I need to do when I build an object is I need to dump all of vacation's code and all vacation's instance variables and methods. I need to dump them into this flight object that I build. And the way I do it is I have to remember that back in this inheritance hierarchy, okay, that the vacation is the superclass. It is above. In the hierarchy diagram, vacation is above. It's more powerful, super. Where flight is the sub, it's below. It's a subclass. Okay, that's important. Because what I need to do is I need flight to basically call its superclass. It says flight, go grab all the stuff from the superclass. The thing that you're borrowing from. And so the way I do that is inside the object, or inside this constructor method, I need to add the word super, and it's kind of like it's a method. I'm going to call the superclass, and it just says, hey, go grab everything from its superclass, from the thing that you're extending. Go grab it and take everything, throw it in this object. And so now when I create a flight object, it really does contain everything from this vacation object. It will have a cost, a number of days, a destination, and everything of that nature. And so if we wanted to test that, we would have to create a main method or a tester method, or however you would want to call it. Maybe a third class here, that's just my tester class, and start running a main method and building things and checking them. I'll work on that in a different video, but in this video, just keep in mind what we've done so far is we built the superclass, which was vacation, the overall item, and then we built a more specific item called flight, and the flight extends vacation because it's going to take all of vacation's things and it's going to dump it into the flight object. And we do that by using the word super. It's very, very important that you know that this super call of the superclass, must be first here in this line of assignments, if you will. Just make sure you put super first.